Thank you. Namaskar and greetings from Asia's first media university, India's largest, and the beautiful lake city of Bhopal. Uh, First of all, I would like to greet uh, the chief patron of this conference, Honorable Dr. Nandakishore Gargji, uh, Professor Ravi Gupta ji, Professor S.K. Garg Saab, Dr. Vinita Gupta, and Dr. Nisha Singh. It's really an honor to be an academic partner of this international conference on a very relevant subject. Already Professor Dr. S.K. Garg has already spoken on this issue. So has my friend and eminent journalist Shishir Sinha ji spoken on this. And I think that much of the important issues have been covered by both. And since this program is to be followed by a panel discussions, many other points would also come with the participation of eminent panelists. I would like to just add on to what Professor Garg and my friend Shishir spoke just now. I think that we are discussing the changing landscape, the reshaping the landscape of media during crisis situation in the backdrop of the corona crisis. But I have been, you may call it unfortunate or fortunate, to cover a lot of crisis situations from fires, Upahar fire tragedy, to floods, to terror attacks, to earthquakes. So these are all crisis situations. COVID is the latest, unprecedented. The one big difference between other crises and this crisis is that here we are dealing with an unknown entity whom we are yet to really know well. We still do not know how it originated, whether it is from the lab at Wuhan or is it from the animal market there, who is responsible for it, is it a biological weapon, how can it be dealt with, we still do not know. We are still unprotected to a great extent. The world is still, we have rising cases in many parts of the country, in Northeast, in Kerala. We are anticipating the third wave. So, media, how has been the media's role? Why I am mentioning this is because unlike a fire or an earthquake or a tsunami which have happened in the past, this is a crisis with which neither the governments of the day nor the media was ever familiar with. So it was a knee-jerk reaction on the part of everybody. We did not know how to deal with it. So obviously media also did not know. I am not holding any brief for media. I have been a media person myself for long. So we were as much in the dark as much as anybody else was. The best of doctors were. We kept on, that trial and error method was used. So remdesivir was used, plasma was used. You do not know which one will work. Hydrochloroquine was used. We tried everything. Similarly, media was also, particularly the second wave, just swept us away, every day. It was like a situation where we were all, as if we were all anticipating, we were seen in some horror movies, that something is coming and going to knock at your door the next time, It's happening in your neighborhood, in your families, in your, among your friends. You are losing them by the day. That was the kind of situation that was happening. Now, I do agree that some sensationalism was resorted to by media. But by and large, I believe that media played a very important role in ensuring that the much needed resources reach the people. When there was an oxygen crisis in Delhi NCR, I think the hospitals, when they failed to get the required oxygen, they were contacting media, and media was crying from the rooftop that oxygen is only limited for 15 minutes in this particular hospital. It is the role of the media that if people face problems, they cannot turn a blind eye to it. If in the US and other countries, if they have turned a blind eye, then they were not discharging their responsibility. Media has a role to play, that in case of, at that time, yes, are we creating a sort of depression in the society? So much so that there is no hope? Then there is a problem. Are we highlighting that people were also getting cured? That people were also recovering? Was this adequately covered? I give this example often, that why is media complicit in the increasing crime rate in the country? I say that is because we only highlight crime. We don't highlight the punishment part of it. You see, if there is a murder in a posh South Delhi locality, it will be 4-column front page. But if after 4 or 5 years of trial, the same fellow is given a life sentence, it hardly gets a mention in the paper. So many murders have taken place, every day they are taking place. How many of them are, the conviction is reported? Unless if there is a death sentence, which is the rarest of rare, or if it is a high profile incident, some industrialist or politician or somebody like that has been killed. Unless that happens, the media doesn't give it coverage. So what is happening is that the sense of proportion, that is not there. So crime is reported, punishment is not reported. Then what is the public perception? That nobody gets punished. You can get away with murder. That is the message that goes out. And it is here that media failed. Media has to highlight if there are shortcomings in the system. That is the job of the media. If they don't do it, then they are better, they should be called public relation professionals. Their job is not to build images. Their job is to serve as a bridge between the people and the government, to highlight the problems and aspirations of the people, and to communicate the policies and decisions of the government, and to create awareness in the society, to inform the public, to educate the public, and to inspire the public where required. The problem is that we also need to inspire. We had cases certainly where a lot of black marketing had taken place. I don't want to take the names, but many affluent people in Khan Market, businessmen, were also caught selling concentrators, oxygen concentrators. Now, and the way oxygen was being black marketed, the way medicines including remdesivir were black marketed, I mean, it's pathetic. But then there were also people who put their lifelong savings, whether it be for a pilgrimage or for a daughter's marriage. I've heard stories of auto rickshaw drivers in Mathura who put their entire life savings which they had kept for their daughter's wedding to serve the poor migrants who were migrating from across the country. How many of these stories were highlighted? One Sonu Sood was highlighted. Good. If we have done a good work, that needs to be highlighted. But there were hundreds and thousands of Sonu Soods. I am sure Nand Kishore Garg ji also did a tremendous work during that time. He is a philanthropist at heart. I am sure he also did it. There were so many who did it. Did we highlight that, or we showed that in the entire nation of 138 crores, there was only one Sonu Sood? Because he has a very good PR missionary working for him. Did we also highlight the contributions made by the society in each and every household? The Indian society, in houses, middle class households like ours, we did not allow the maid servant to domestic help to come to our house. But we ensured that their salaries were paid. This was how the Indians, by and large, the Indians responded to the situations. There were retrenchments also, there were layoffs, but there were also a lot of companies who did not reduce the salaries, who paid the full salaries, who took care of their people, who took care of their workers. Where they highlighted, no. My problem is there. My problem is not if you show the negative. My problem is when you refuse to show the positive. That sense of balance has to be there. Highlight the negative. If there is negativity, yes, you should not hide it. But highlight the positivity is also a truth. It is also a reality. Why are you thinking that only negativity sells? Had that been the case, a business savvy media house like India Today would not have launched Good News Today. Because they know that there is a market for good news. So we should realize that the media's job is not just to be a rudali, as they say in Hindi. सिर्फ छाती पीटने का काम नहीं है, मातम मनाने का काम नहीं है. समाज को सूचित करना, शिक्षित करना और प्रेरित करना. To inspire the people to come out and to remain inside when they need to remain inside. To mask themselves, to maintain physical distancing, to maintain sanitization. How much of awareness needs to be created? So many organizations did good work, where they highlighted. The governments also. Yes, you highlighted the shortcomings, central or state governments. Good, that's your job. But from a country which did not even have the capacity to produce PP kits, we started exporting ventilators within a couple of months. That shows not just the decisiveness of the government, but also the enterprise of the people of this country, which need to be highlighted, which need to be talked about. Friends, I know that this is just the inaugural session. There is another panel discussion which is coming up. We also would like to hear the Honorable Nand Kishore ji, who is present here. He is like an elder brother to me, always been very affectionate. I just want to say one thing. मीडिया में बहुत परिवर्तन आ रहा है. प्रिंट मीडिया का जो सर्कुलेशन है अनडाउटेडली कम हो गया है. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया में आकर्षण बढ़ गया है. डिजिटल मीडिया तो अब जीवन का एक हिस्सा बन गया है. यहाँ तक मैं कहता हूँ कि पहले आप एसेंशियल्स में कहते थे रोटी कपड़ा और मकान, अब आपको कहना है कि रोटी कपड़ा मकान और डेटा। अब ये भी ज़रूरतों में, किसी आदमी को आप किसी द्वीप में डाल दीजिए और उसको डेटा, रिचार्ज और पावर सप्लाई उस फ़ोन को रिचार्ज करने के लिए इतना दे दीजिए, वो आराम से अपनी ज़िंदगी जो है गुजार लेगा। तो इसलिए व्यक्ति जो है, लेकिन इन सब के बीच में हमको इस बात को ध्यान रखना है कि इन्फोडेमिक जैसे जिसका जिक्र यहाँ शिशिर जी ने किया, अभी एक लेटेस्ट रिपोर्ट आया है जो ये कहता है कि, और मेरे सामने वो रिपोर्ट है जो ये कहता है, मैं आपको 1 सेकेंड ही लूँगा और उसके बाद मैं अपने वाणी को विराम दूंगा क्योंकि मुझे 10 मिनट का समय दिया गया था। ये लेटेस्ट स्टडी है जो प्रिवेलेंस एंड सोर्स एनालिसिस ऑफ कोविड-19 मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन इन 138 कंट्रीज, 138 मुल्कों का उन्होंने विश्लेषण किया है, बाय द इंटरनेशनल फेडरेशन ऑफ लाइब्रेरी एसोसिएशन एंड इंस्टीट्यूशंस जर्नल, सेज इंटरनेशनल का जो सबसे बड़े प्रकाशक है। उनका कहना है कि इंडिया इज द टॉप सोर्स ऑफ सोशल मीडिया मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन ऑन कोविड। दुनिया में सबसे ज़्यादा सोशल मीडिया में अगर गलतफहमियां, अफवाहें, गलत सूचनाएं अगर प्रसारित की गई तो वो भारत में की गई। मुझे भी अभी भी याद होगा कि नाक में 2 बूंद नींबू का रस डाल दो, कोविड चला जाएगा। आपको याद होगा कि टीकाकरण लेने के 2 साल के अंदर आदमी का मृत्यु निश्चित है। नोबेल लॉरिएट को कोट करते हुए ये बताया गया। इस तरह की बहुत सारी बातें हमारे ध्यान में आया है, जिसके चलते डिजिटल मीडिया की विश्वसनीयता कम हुई है। मीडिया लैंडस्केप की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, पूरे दुनिया में प्रिंट मीडिया जहां वाइंड अप हो रहा है, वहां मात्र अपने विश्वसनीयता के कारण, अपने मजबूत संपादकीय प्रक्रिया के कारण, क्योंकि यहाँ शिशिर जी और विनीता जी, ये भी हम सब प्रिंट मीडिया में काम कर चुके हैं, वहाँ एक एक शब्दों को जिस तरीके से तोल के, हर शब्द का जो है, क्या वो कानून के अंतर्गत आता है, क्या उसमें अश्लीलता है, क्या उसमें अवमानना है, हर चीज़ को संतुलन लेके चलती है। तो उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए प्रिंट, इसलिए प्रिंट की विश्वसनीयता आज भी बरकरार है। और भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जो जब अपना पैनल डिस्कशन होगा तो हम उस दौरान बात करेंगे। लेकिन मैं बधाई देना चाहता हूँ महाराजा अग्रसेन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट साइंसेस और हमारे माखनलाल चतुर्वेदी विश्वविद्यालय, क्योंकि ये संयुक्त तत्वाधान में हमने जो है एक बहुत ही सुंदर कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया। एंड आई एम श्योर दैट द डेलिब्रेशंस एट दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस would be really beneficial for the policy makers and the society at large. Once again, greetings to all the panelists and the participants. Thank you for inviting me. Namaskar.